Welcome, Sagittarius, to your monthly reading for March of 2018. This is Solomon of Psychicloveheals, and I do want to welcome you, and I hope you have a fantastic month. All right, much appreciation for all of the comments, likes, shares, and everything. It's much appreciated. So what we're going to do here is guide you through a 9-card spread, which will predict the energies that you may potentially deal with in love from beginning to end. So let's see what's going on with you. I'm going to shuffle just a little bit. I already did off camera. All right, for Sagittarius and love. Let's see. Sagittarius experience and love. Okay, March 2018. All right, let's see. So we do start out with the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is where many of you may be taking a higher road of kind of stepping back and looking in a different direction rather than focusing on your problems, focusing on maybe a problematic relationship, issues with a desired outcome, trying to make things work, knowing that if you try to push too hard that you will continuously run into obstacles. So maybe you have learned a few lessons of kind of stepping back and kind of allowing things to be and allowing another person to kind of come to you instead of chasing that person and being too aggressive, so to speak. So I see this Three of Wands of kind of waiting for the right time to take that dive or another leap, because maybe some of you have done so already as you lead into the month of March, and for a lot of you, you're just trying to energetically see where things go before you are to build something else with someone, I feel. And as you do kind of wait, the thing is, it may cause some issues with your motivation. You may not feel all that inspired with your current connection, with your current relationship partner, where if they are not around, or if you feel that you are trapped within an environment or a certain relationship where you don't want to be, where you don't have the freedom to enjoy yourself, to be playful, a bit more active, expansive, that's going to bother you, is going to bog you down. So your self-esteem is lowered. You're not really feeling good, feeling trapped with the children, feeling trapped in your own childlike kind of behavior, because you want to play, you want to get out there, you may want to date, you want to get to know someone, but you may not be feeling the best at this time right now. So it's almost like for some of you, you may even be telling your partner that I'm just not ready right now. I'm not feeling 100%. I don't feel that I look the best right now. I don't have all that I need financially. My goals are not met or being met. I have not met that quota. If you put some kind of things out there that you would like to achieve, especially with New Year's resolutions coming up, a lot of people do those kind of things. So insecurity is there because you may not receive messages that you will want. It's almost like this other person is holding the wand from you. Remember, the Three of Wands is about expansion, growth. And the Page of Wands is about inspiration and traveling and moving in a different direction. That's the other part that you may be missing with the fourth wand, which is stability. So for a lot of you, you may be kind of lacking that confidence because the messages are not coming in. And even if it is coming in, it's someone saying that they're not ready, which is causing you some kind of frustration. And I feel this is where the Nine of Pentacles comes through. Many of you are desiring to be in a relationship with someone, and they're not coming around just yet. And even if you are single, you're looking for that one, you're looking for that person, you wanting to get to know someone new. Maybe you're wanting to get to know someone that's going to keep you motivated and inspired, but for a lot of you, it's not happening just yet. So either you're staying where you are, relying on someone else for financial reasons and concerns, because the job or the plans that you had, they're not moving. If you put in a lot of hard work and effort when it comes to fitness, your goals, your self-esteem, all of those things, and then you fall back into a pattern of behavior that doesn't really suit you, then you have that doubt again, and then you start to lean on what you're used to, maybe because the other person that you've been used to, they accept you, how you are. Maybe you would like to move on from that person, but you say, I can't do that because I'm not feeling, whole right now. You see what I mean? So for a lot of you, financial resources, or kind of stepping away from something that you put a lot of effort into is could be causing you a lot of frustration financially. I feel not really feeling motivated, a bit disappointed. The Lovers is showing up, and to me, with this combination, it does indicate a choice that may be here. For a lot of you, it's almost like you are putting yourself to the test, putting another person to the test, so to speak, to see how long am I willing to wait for this thing to mold. How long am I going to have the patience enough to wait for this other person to come around, or will they walk away from me if I tell them that I'm not ready just yet? Now, this could be a friend as well, someone that you've spoken to before, had a relationship with before, and maybe the insecurities and doubts between you two, sometimes you two fall apart, sometimes you get back together every now and then. There are arguments and disagreements, children causing issues with separation because some of you have children, some of you don't, not wanting to be in a relationship for those reasons. So the Lovers card here shows me a question of concern for a lot of you, especially with the home environment and who's there, especially if it does deal with a marriage for many of you out there, with the Lovers being there. And when those questions start to arise, the Knight of Wands shows up. So a lot of energy, pretty much in your element, but the tension is there, which can have you feeling a bit paranoid and feeling a bit restricted and a bit angry and aggressive because of this choice. Now, for many of you out there, intuitively, your partner may feel that they know, what you're up to, what you may be thinking about, even if you're not expressing it to them. And it's almost like a self-protection. You're trying to make sure that you don't give them too much information of what you may be holding in, because say if you're trying to make a great escape, right, and that's your plan to kind of get away from this particular person or situation, the Nine of Wands shows up like you are you're on alert, they're on alert, because someone may be trying to get out of a relationship while the other person is kind of waiting and maybe providing, maybe helping you out, so to speak. For some of you, that's how I see one of the stories, and you don't want to get into that conflict with that person if that conversation or that realization was to arise with the Nine of Wands being there, because of a choice that someone is having to make. I feel with the Nine being there. See that the Seven of Swords comes out. That's dishonesty. Some kind of frustration is going on, and when that happens, it's two sides of the story. For some of you, you're the person who is trying to choose, trying to wait for the right time to choose, or you're waiting for someone else who's not quite being honest about their true feelings and emotions for you, which is having you feel insecure and doubtful, not feeling that you're at your best when truly you are, but because they're not letting you know what's going on, it's having you feel it twice as much, not feel very good about yourself. So the Seven of Swords is there, a card where you say, I'm truly afraid of even being in a relationship right now, and I may not be ready. I have a fear that you don't like me so much as I like you, as much as I'm into you. Those questions could arise with this this deception showing up right here with the Seven of Swords being here. And you have the Four of Cups showing up. As you move throughout the month, you start to kind of pull back emotionally. You start to think about the disappointment, and I feel like it starts to build up, the frustration that you have with yourself, that you have with another person, and it's almost like you resist the change, you resist this opportunity. Some of you, if you're in a particular marriage with someone, you're pushing that away as well, because you may feel that you do have options for some, and you may not be totally complete or fulfilled. because I actually was doing a few of the because I do the weekly readings for Sagittarius, and what kept coming to me was that some were sticking with what they have, and it doesn't necessarily mean what you want. So it says, I'm used to this particular marriage or relationship, and I've gotten into it, so why not just try to stay, even though I'm not at the happiest? So those questions start to arise, whether or not you should continue to do that, because it's not doing yourself a service or justice, or the other person as well, for many of you out there. So when you're feeling conflicted like that, that's why the Four of Cups does show up through many different reasons, as you approach the end of the month of pushing someone away. And this could very much be a water sign for some of you out there. This water sign, it could be Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer that you could be dealing with. Someone who you have moved on from, someone who has moved on from you, which could be causing you to frustration where you feel like they don't want you any longer. You're not worth their love, their compassion, their forgiveness, another chance, because you've done something to them. You've been juggling, vice versa, that kind of situation where there's emotional kind of manipulation going on in the situation, because as you have been around that particular person, it doesn't have to be a water sign, but in case it was, you start to absorb their technique of how to be a bit more emotionally clever. So you use their tactics against them. And they may not like that so much, because they feel that you know them very well, maybe a bit too well. And this could be an ex-partner, okay, someone that you may have kids with, for some of you who have had a long relationship with them. And I just feel like it's a lot going on, but there's a crossfire of, if you look at the Nine of Wands, that's where someone is stuck in the middle of a situation, a third-party situation, or something where they're trying to get out of it, but they're still not being honest about, they're trying to work their way out of a situation, but they're not sure how to get out of it just yet. That's what I feel. And for some, you could be on this King of Cup person is someone that could be kind of threatening you or threatening your potential romantic partner. And maybe some of you are, about that. You see, for making sense, if some of you know about that and the other person is being dishonest about it, you're not liking it too much, because you would like to protect that person and let them know that it's okay, that they need to move on from them. But that could be an obstacle there for some of you out there. But this King of Cups person, sometimes they could be very emotionally, again, manipulative, not expressive at times, very angry and hostile, and sometimes they may drink a lot. They may do many different things and have emotional issues, I feel. And what happens is justice comes out, okay, towards the end of the month. So sometimes you may feel, some of you could be going through court or legal matters, child custody. When justice is coming out in this way, with the dishonesty that's coming through in the situation, make sure that you are on the right side of the coin. Make sure that you're not offering the energy of taking advantage of different people or another person, and making sure that you're being honest about not wanting to be in a certain situation, because justice does indicate that things will be balanced out. Karma does turn around and addresses the issue, addresses a certain person when the time is right. It doesn't say when it's going to hit or when it's going to happen, but these things, sometimes if you get in a relationship with someone and you may mislead them, or if they're misleading you, justice said that they're not going to get away with it, because you still have to work through the process of that agreement. Relationships, if you commit, they are like contracts. They are spiritual contracts of kind of a marriage. Even if you don't sign the papers, two people get into a relationship, and then if that person, an ex, continues to come into your life over and over again, that's something that you may have to deal with for many of you out there. So keep that into perspective. Again, there's a lot of different things going on here, but it seems to me that, again, some of you are either waiting for the right time to commit to another person, or you're trying to find your way out of a marriage or relationship that's not working for you. And maybe that may not happen all this month, I don't feel, but you're trying to figure out ways to handle it and deal with it, I feel. Okay, so those are your messages for the month. I do hope that they help you out. Remember, they are general in nature, so they may not speak directly to your situation. So if you would like a private or personal reading, you can go to the website psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for you. So have a good one.